Hello, everybody, and welcome to Riftbound Ramblings. I'm your host, Barrett, and today is August 10th, 2025, and we have some tournament week 4 recaps to go over. There were two events this weekend, at least that are on Piltover Archive. Shoutouts to them, hashtag not sponsored. But they are a lovely, lovely deck building website that is community driven, obviously. They run the community Discord, or they're a part of it as well, and they have information for two tournaments that were ran this weekend. So we have the Rift Lab trial that was ran the beginning of the weekend, and then we have the France Cup Season 0, number 1, that was ran basically around the same time, but a day after. And we're going to go over the top 8 deck lists for the Rift Lab trial, and we're going to go over the top 4 for the France Cup Season 0. So, without further ado, let's dive in. But first off, they did show us some art for the Spirit Forge Champion decks that are meant for distributors and telling people like when you can, or production images, of course, for people to see what they got. And the only reason I want to show these off is they show the domains that these legends are going to have for their champion decks. Starting on the right, Rumble is going to be a champion deck, and they have Fury and Mind, which means my sleuthing was correct. If you watched the last video, that means I correctly predicted that they were going to have these domains only because there's a Fury and a Mind domain Bandle City mech unit, which makes me think that we're going to be being mech for or focused. They could use cards like that even in this deck from set 1 while also incorporating set 2 cards, but we're going to have a very differently shaped Fury Mind character or champion that is not Kaisa. On the other side, we have Fiora, who is going to have the body and order domains, and I was not right about this one. I definitely thought that Fiora was going to have Calm and Order, but instead of Calm, they have Body. Now, what does this mean? Well, on guard, a card that has Fiora on it isn't going to be playable with this legend, which I think is kind of a miss, but I am excited to see what they're going to do. For the first time, we're going to see a champion have their face on a card that they can't use. What are they going to do to compensate for that? What are we going to get in the body domain? But I just wanted to show these off in case everybody had them. But we have some deck lists that we're going to go over very quickly. I'm not going to go super in depth on them. But at least based off of what we see here, body and order combination that Fiora has is very strong because set is pretty good. And I think what you're also going to see is the body domain in general is pretty powerful. So, kicking things off, we've got the Rift Lab Trial 1. There was 128 players. And if there is a player that has had a previous top cut showing, I went ahead and added that as well. So in 8th place, we've got Master Yi being played here by Jay, who Jay was the Kaisa that got 4th place in the weekend tournament last weekend, basically. So they have healed turn. They have turned into a new champion, and it is Master Yi. And without giving any crazy spoilers, Master Yi came out in full force this weekend for the first time ever since the beginning of all the cards being revealed. Now, the biggest things I want to note here, again, on guard, all these kind of tricks that the Calm domain has access to at lower energy costs are the reason why people are choosing this, right? Charm, incredibly good. On guard, Defy, and then you move a little bit up. Discipline, Zonia's Hourglass to keeping your units alive. Like all of those low costed cards in this curve are why people are gravitating towards Calm right now. And then on the other side of that coin, the body domain units are very good. So, Pit Rookie, buff your other guys. First Mate, ready a unit so you can swing with it again. And then very powerful units like Kiana. I think people are really focusing on deflect units right now because it helps you protect your units against people's removal, makes them have a little bit of detriment, and of course, Kiana ramps or draws. And then Carnivorous Snapvine is basically probably going to be seen in every body deck because this card is just so good. And that's pretty much it. So, Master Yi right here, moving on, and got 8th place here from Jay. And then in seventh place, we have another Master Yi deck, but it is a little different. Again, all the low-costed kind of spells, utility effects, the only difference really being here is the Mask of Foresight being in this deck. But then when you look again on the other side of the units, instead of playing that 8-drop dragon, we have Blitzcranks and Misfortunes, which I think a lot of people do enjoy Blitzcrank once you have access to a battlefield. You can play Blitzcrank from your hand to basically either preemptively add your enemy's units into showdowns and deal with them immediately. Blitzcrank also has tank, so they have to deal their damage to Blitzcrank first. It's very, very good if you catch your opponent off guard with it, but not incredibly good against units per se that are stronger than Blitzcrank because you will be losing your Blitzcrank, obviously. And then Misfortune for some aggro game plan of when you swing over there, you get to ready another unit. Very good with Kiana. And of course, Carnivorous Snapvine having 6 might means that it's pretty healthy as well. Master Yi here, though, coming in great again with a 7th place finish here. Moving on, we've got once again another Master Yi deck. This one is from Nightingale. Nightingale was also playing Master Yi last weekend and got third place with it. So now they have gotten sixth place. They've top cut it again, which is very good for them. But this list looks very similar to what we saw from the eighth place list, right? Again, this one's playing Mask of Foresight instead. We even see some Rune Prisons here, but again, the theme is the same: low energy costing. Calm cards that are very, very powerful, and then a lot of our units are going to be coming from the body domain because they're meant to be bigger units typically, or buff themselves, or get better might, and might is very important right now in our current metagame. So congratulations to Nightingale. Moving in, we've got fifth place. We've got Tog, who played Set the Boss. And this list is, in my opinion, pretty similar to some set lists that we've seen already. I would say the biggest difference here is, again, people are shifting to playing Kiana. Now, I don't think a ton of people were playing Kiana earlier, but I think people are very much valuing the deflect that that unit has. And of course, repeatable draw, people know is going to be very good from what we've seen from the Fury Domain Kaisa champion unit, and then also having that choice to channel runes if you just don't need the extra cards, but you're typically always drawing cards. I love how you can even still see the Leona having representation here, the Order Domain Leona champion unit, but it's only in the sideboard, and so I think that is a strong choice because stunning units is very powerful. So congratulations to Tog here with 5th place. And then moving on, we've also had Volibear crack the surface for a top cut appearance. And we've got Megon, who played Ari and got third place in the Riftbound Meta Weekly 2 weeks ago with July. And I'll be honest, this is kind of my first time really looking at like a Volibear list and figuring out what these decks are doing. And like they're actually playing ramp. Like Mobilize is in here, which, makes sense. That's the good one. Vi's in here for heavy scaling. These units get very, very big. And they're already big, right? Deadbloom Predator at the end. Cadrigan the Infernal. Still playing the Carnivorous Snapvine, of course. Darius from the Fury Domain. Makes a lot of sense. And we're playing, of course, the one champion unit Fury Volibear, which again deflect 2, people leaning towards those deflect units a little bit more. I really like how this looks. If you are a Volibear player, if you enjoyed playing the Volibear champion deck, if you got it at Gen Con, it's really interesting to see that, hey, they can work. Here it is. It's a cool looking deck. So great job here from Megon. Also, of course, shouting out the Dazzling Aurora that are in the sideboards. I know a lot of people are big on this card ever since there was just Set playing it weeks prior. Moving on, we've got the third place finish from Kuvira. If you remember that name, it is because Kuvira was the Kaisa that got first place 2 weeks ago. This week they got third place, and they have pivoted also to Master Yi. And again, this deck is looking a little more similar to the 5th place, 6th place one that we just saw, 6th place one that we just saw. It looks a little closer to that deck. Honestly, if I put them right next to each other, they might actually be card for card. They might be friends, but I'm not too sure. The sideboards look a little bit different. But again, same story, same boat. I think this combination is actually quite good, and people are learning about it, which means people might also be looking at Lee Sin. So keep an eye out for that. But I think everyone has a strong agreement that Master Yi's Legend ability is probably a lot better. Moving on, we've got second place. This is from Prismaticism. Prismaticism was also in the tournament 2 weeks ago and was the Jinx that got second place. But now we've pivoted to Darius, and Darius is access to the Fury domain, having strong cards like Draven. This is similar to, I think, the other Dravens that we've seen that are playing the Fury domain Draven champion unit, Kaisa champion unit, and Vayne champion unit. And then all of the order cards that you're playing are things like the Baited Hook, which a lot of people are leaning towards right now, Hidden Blade for removal, and then very, very strong units that can help you establish a board, basically. Um, Faithful Manufacturer, Vanguard Captain with the Legion ability, of course. So I like this one. The sideboard Bryn Hears make a lot of sense. I think that's kind of where that card is going to end up, and I think a lot of decks. But very, very good value champion units. Wants to get some uh, points early so that your Dravens are a lot more mightyful. So second place finish here. Congratulations, Prismaticism. And then, of course, our first place finish was by Vin Doherty. Vin Doherty also played set in 2 weeks ago, but got a fourth place finish. And then finally this week, getting their first place finish in 128 players. Incredible achievement. Great job here. And we've even, again, seen some build around for these set decks. We're seeing the Kianas. Fioras are here as well. Fiora has Deflect, and it doesn't cost any might. Or sorry, it doesn't cost any power to play. We have Kiana, gets Deflect, repeatable draw, Call to Glories. Already we know this card's very good. It can be played for free and give even more. I love the 1x Arena Bar. I have a lot of success when I play Arena Bar, but I'm a fan of it just still being in the deck because sometimes when you find it in the beginning of the game, you can really run the show. And then, of course, we also have in the sideboard Anivia showing its first appearance. When I attack, deal 3 to all enemy units here. So must have been playing some bad matchups against like Victor decks per se, with like little recruits. I'm not too sure, but it's also just very good in general against, the mirror, right? Even if your pit rookies, Cythrias, or Daring Poros are on battlefields, even if they're buffed, they only have 3 might, which is perfect for Anivia. So I'm a big fan of that here. But first place finish here from Vin Doherty. Congratulations. But we've got another tournament to look at. Now this France Cup only had 16 players in it, but I do think there is some valuable decks to be looking at here. And of course, any data, in my opinion, can be good data. So, if you're a fan of Teemo, we've got your fourth place finish here by Engineer. And the reason I really wanted to look at this is because I have yet to see a lot of success from Teemo decks. And here we have one of them getting fourth place here. And I think it looks pretty good. It makes a lot of sense. The hidden units, I think, matter a lot. So when it comes to the Teemo champion unit for Chaos, the Blast Cone Fae, etc., I think a lot of that stuff is very, very important. And Nocturne here, right? I think that's the big one. Nocturne, I think, has the potential to be very good for what this Teemo deck is trying to do, as long as you can always find it off the top of your deck. Teemo Strategist, the Mind champion unit, can work when you find this. I'm pretty sure, right? When you look at the top of the deck and don't draw them? Nah, it says reveal. Never mind. They don't work. But it is really cool. Regardless, I do think with vision abilities, Nocturne has the potential to be very, very powerful, but you have to be able to pull it off. But this deck's kind of cool. I'm a big fan. Of course, Gus in the sideboard. Everybody likes that one. And then in third place, we've got another Volibear. Anonymous, don't know who this is, but congratulations on how you did. This deck looks a little more similar to the Volibear that we saw in the other tournament that ended up happening. The Carnivore Snapvines, the Dariuses, the Dreadbloom Predators, and the Cadrigan, the Infernals. Honestly, if I, again, put them side by side, because I see the 3 Dazzling Auras in the sideboard, might actually just be the same deck. And so this person probably played in 2 tournaments, which is really cool. Or they have friends. This deck looks really cool. I'm a big fan that Volibear has finally made a crack into a top cut, and I think that's really nice. Moving on, we've got another Volibear. And again, this one is using similar cards, but this time Dazzling Auroras are in the main board, which means they have the potential to pull them out in the first game, which is really impactful, especially when they come out. Again, this one also is playing Bryn Hears in the sideboard, and then the 1x Flurry of Blades, which I'm a big fan of as well. 2 mainboard Sabotage, 1 on the side. So there's very deliberate choices here, and they did get second place. So, I mean, they did have success. And again, Volibear also coming in clutch this weekend for not having any appearances prior to. And then in first place, you have again the talk of the weekend, Master Yi. This was by Thagor. 6-6 split on runes. This one's playing Set Brawlers. That's the body domain champion unit. And this one is playing very different choices of what units they're going to be playing. But again, the story is the same. Calm domain for all the tricks that you have at lower energy costs. All the powerful units like Carnivorous Snapvine. We're going to see a lot of this going in the future. So everybody, that is your weekly or your week 4 meta recap with the 2 tournaments that we had. Someone told me that they liked this content. I'm going to continue to do it because I do think it's valuable for anybody that's looking to build decks. I think deck building in this game has a lot of choices, and we're only one set in. So I do understand having the value to see what other people are doing. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up so I know that I'm doing a good job. Of course, comment down below if you like some of the decks, if you disagree with some of the choices. I want to know what you all are doing as well. Just because you didn't top cut it just means you didn't make it on the slide, but I do think everybody has good choices when it comes to deck building. And of course, subscribe to the channel so that you always know when I post a video just like this one. But for now, we're going to see you guys next week, and maybe we'll start getting some spoilers for Spirit Forged Set 2. So we'll see you then.